What do you make of the way the Canucks are playing?
Okay, when they were at 5 games, 6 games, they're only at 5, 6 games. I always think a 10-game threshold, Donnie, is a good indicator. You can't deny what they're doing. You just can't. They got 4 guys in the top 11 scoring, when's the last time that happened in Vancouver? Their coach has been splendid. I can't sit here and tell you other than this is pretty amazing what they've done in the.
You're at a loss for words right now.
Loss for words, and that's tough for me. It's just all positive. Okay, it's early. They're going to hit some adversity. Long road trip, injuries are coming. They do. They've been really healthy first 10 games, but hats off. You can't say anything but positive things.
And people feel free to criticize me. Yeah. And I think you're in there with me. And Thomas Drance has done the same thing. Thomas is going to join us in the next segment. We've talked a lot about the way they should go is rebuild.
That's not me. I never said rebuild. That's you and Drance. You guys got to own it. I never said rebuild. They brought in Tocchet to win now.
Yeah, but
Rutherford win now.
You love these
win
guys.
Now.
Yeah.
Don't lump me in with you and him.
Okay. Look, when I was talking about a rebuild, first of all, right after I talked about a rebuild, every single time I said I hope I'm wrong. It looks like I'm wrong. I don't know if
wrong.
Thomas would agree with me there, but it looks like very early 10 games that I was wrong. Yeah. That's great. I love it. Yep. I'm from Burnaby. I'm from Vancouver. Yep. I want that. I want to be wrong. It's fantastic. That's great. No problem with it at all. Especially if the Sharks are going through a rebuild. You don't want that at Rogers Arena. Honestly, Rick, they're 0-9-1. That is the worst team I have seen in the National Hockey League since I don't know when. The California Golden Seals, like honestly.
It was bad. That's a bad hockey team.
I played a lot of Beer League. This is not an insult. That looked like a Beer League team last night. They looked awful.
And Donnie, I had more people in my wedding than the people in that rink last night.
At the first view, right?
To watch the Sharks last night. I couldn't find any fans. They announced 10,000, by the way. I don't think there was more than 5.
Just over 10,000. I think the Demko family made 9,000.
Yeah, they all came over from San Diego.
Okay, Rick Tocchet. Let's talk about him for a second. We're going to hear from him in a second. But how much of last night do you think had to do with him calling out his team after beating Nashville on Tuesday? Usually you don't see that from a head coach. Team wins a game against a pretty good Nashville team, and he called them out. Said that wasn't good enough.
There is nothing that guy's done that is wrong so far up to this date. Mm-hmm. Everything he says is bang on. I just love the fact he's a teacher. 24/7, this guy. He said in an article the other day, I don't know if you saw this, Donnie. He said, I'd like to sit in a room with the BC Lions and Whitecaps coach and pick their brain. He's one of these guys that is always constantly thinking about getting better, improving. He won't let this team get complacent. The biggest thing he's done is taken that loser mentality in the last 7-8 years out of this team. He's taken out a lot of the bad habits of a lot of guys who've been here a long time, taken them right out. He's done he's holding them accountable. I think you said it the other day, the star of this team, and as good as the players are going, I'm sorry, but it's the coach.
And Patrick Alvin.
And then
you can't, Patrick Alvin, I'll tell you right now, Patrick Alvin, what?
Yeah, but now you rip me for pumping up the management. You're doing it now too, so I can say that about you.
Rick, they're playing very, very well, and Patrick Alvin has something to do with it. All I was going to say is, when you talk about Tocchet being up for the Adams, again, it's so early, folks. I apologize for this, but it is what it is. All positive right now. Tocchet up for the Adams. Pedersen,
Norris,
Art Ross, and Norris for Hughes. Patrick Alvin, if they keep going, he's going to win the Jim Gregory GM of the Year. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, okay? Let me talk about Tocchet. I talk about the Tocchet test, okay?
The test.
The various Tocchet tests and things that the Canucks have had all sorts of problems with through the years. Number one, winning when you're not playing well. They did that the other night. They didn't play well against Nashville. They win that game by 3 goals. Coach isn't happy, but they won. They got 2 points. Winning coming off a long road trip. They did that last week, right?
12-day trip.
Yeah, they beat St. Louis. They
5-0.
They shut them out, and then they played a very good game. They lost in overtime against the New York Rangers the next night. That never happened. That's never happened in the past,
That's a good
or
point.
very rarely anyway.
Very good
Okay,
point.
and then last night, a classic, what you call trap game, a danger game for the Canucks. You're playing against a very, very weak team. When you're playing well, you take them lightly, and you end up losing. What happens? They crushed them. They crushed the San Jose Sharks, a 10-1. He's talked about things like this.
Yes.
Right? Where, when you're supposed to win or when you're not feeling well and you end up playing a decent game, you get 2 points out of it, or at least a point. And they're doing that right now.
All great points. And last year in exit meetings, telling everyone to get in shape. Get in shape. Get in shape. Get in shape. He's hit all the right buttons so far. He never says anything wrong. So I know we got criticized the other day for, why are you guys pumping the Tocchet so much? What do you want us to do?
Well, we criticized them before.
What do you want us to do?
Well, you did, and you loved them.
If Tocchet's pushing all the right buttons, what are we supposed to do? We're telling you he's pushing the right buttons.